Hello everybody, welcome to another Gundam TCG video. For this one, we're going to be looking at some Gundam deck archetypes or packages, some that basically a set of cards that are trying to reach a goal together. Uh, you'll see what I mean when we get to it. We're going to talk about what the sets of cards are trying to do together to win the game, as well as what are some of the pros and cons about each of the packages of cards. So like I said, this is a set of cards. For example, we're going to talk about Wing Breach. These are all green cards. They're all Operation Meteor. Cards that are trying to do a similar thing. They all have a similar goal in mind. So what can they do? Well, they are dominant in the late game. Once you get the Wing Zero out, when you get the Wing Gundam out, the Death Sight, your opponent is in the back heel. You're probably going to be beating them very soon. They are extremely powerful towards the end of the game. You also have the supporting part, which is the ramp up. That's the first contact and the Winged Bird. What they're trying to do is get you up to those high levels where you can get to play the Wing Gundam and the Wing Zero and the Death Sight. There's also a couple other cards, Path to Victory or Defeat, to search for cards in case you don't have one, as well as the Underground Base, which is a high HP. Remember, in order for you to get to these cards, you need to survive. You have not many early game plays, so in order for you to play these cards, you have to survive until the end of the game or end game stuff. So this is no early game stuff. It's also an expensive set of cards. The Wing Zero and the Death Sight are some of the more expensive cards in Gundam right now. Just their basic non alternate art form. So it can be hard to get a hold of these cards to run it effectively. But all in all, this is a very powerful archetype, very powerful package of cards that all work together with one simple goal, which is to make it to the late game and defeat your opponent. And so its partner in crime is very important. And we're going to talk about its most common partner, which is the stall blockers support. And the stall blocker support is a set of white cards which have, like the name implies, blockers and some other support cards in there. The Zwart, the Lefrit, and the Strike Gundam, they're all there as blockers. They are pretty solid, 4 HP or 3 attack power, so that you can trade with your opponent. It is important to remember that the Zwart cannot attack your opponent's shields or base, but it can destroy units, which is nice to have the 3 attack power for. So you have blockers, you have defensive commands like the Unforeseen Incident, and there are others that people will run, but Unforeseen Incident is the most common. Their goal is basically to allow you to survive. They are blocking, they are reducing your opponent's attack power, so that you can survive longer, not take damage, keep your shields from being destroyed, or keep your base from being destroyed as well. You also have access to Overflowing Affection, which is a key card in draw power. You can draw 2 cards and discard 1, so you can filter for the things that you may or may not need. This is why this is the perfect partner for the Wing Breach package, because you can stall your opponent with the blockers and also search for the cards that you may need for your later combo in the game. The problem with this is, of course, on its own, it doesn't have offense or attack power to destroy the stronger units. But so that's going to depend a lot on the partner that you set this up with, because the Wing Breach is not the only thing it can partner up with, but it is one of the more efficient things it can partner up with. Next, we move on to the white base set, which is a set of blue cards, all of which have the white base trait attached to it. They are pretty good at controlling the early game. The Gundam itself can add attack power when it's paired. It has repair. So does the gun cannon. But in addition to that, you also have Amaro and the gun cannon that when paired, you can rest your opponent and leave them vulnerable to attacks. And then you can go into them if you are linking and then potentially repair, which helps you out a lot. You also have Gun Tank, which does some ping damage. Sayla is a pilot that you could use, but she's not super powerful. Not very used at all. But you do also have White Base, which is a nice token dropper, which can help many situations. But this is a pretty good set of support and early game control cards. And you also have access to a Show of Resolve, which lets you draw 2 cards. So if you want some draw power and some early game control, this White Base package is pretty good, solid, right? It will work with quite a bit. And I'll mention right now that you can add and drop cards from a package. Like Sayla is more often dropped than not, but I just felt like I should mention that she is an option for you should you choose to run her. The cons, there's no late game big strong boss unit that you can drop on your opponent. Everything is 4 cost or less. I'm sorry, level 4 or less. Definitely 4 cost or less. But the strongest you can get is something like the Gundam with Amuro with the +1 attack power. If you have another Gundam that's paired, then they're both boosting each other so that you can get up to a higher attack power. Um, but it's also going to be on the board a lot. You do have repair. I think this is a pretty strong unit, but it's not technically a boss, which is fine because this is still a pretty strong mid-level unit. You also don't have much defense. It's very much support and early control. I suppose the best defense is a good offense, and this can do some really nice resting and attacking into your opponent. Not a defensive tactic, but it's still efficient, right? And then also you have Amuro, but behind him there's not much else in terms of pilots. Um, Nothing else at the moment. Maybe in the future we'll get some more white-based pilot support. But as of now, Amuro, who is honestly one of the best pilots in the game, is the one that really care about for this set that you got to run for if you're going to be doing this. He's just too good. Next, Merida Ping. This is one of the deeper, more committed sets of units. This is obviously based around Merida, and the cool thing about this package is that you can do damage on your opponent without having to interact with them directly. So some of the cards that do that: Katrasha, you have Merida, you have the Gun Tank, Anksha, Relula, Close Combat, Battle of Aces. All of these cards are doing damage against your opponent, or stack and can stack damage on your opponent's units without having to interact with them directly, which is really cool. You also have the finishing move of the Unicorn Banshee, which also links with Merida. That if you have 12 units or 12 cards in your trash, when you link, you get first strike and you get to stand back up and be able to attack again. A nice, powerful finishing move, all packaged together with Merida. It is an expensive set of cards. The Katrasha is about, I want to say $30 or more. Merida is one of the more expensive pilots as well. If you are running this package, you're basically going to have to play blue and red. The Gun Tank, Anksha, and the Banshee are blue units that just worked so well with this package, and you're basically going to have to be running blue and red, but that's okay. Blue is pretty strong itself. And the last thing is, as a weakness, is that it is very Merida dependent. You have many things that cannot be pulled off without Merida, particularly the Banshee finishing move. Uh, but that's not so bad, right? You are likely going to have some solid draw power. You do have access to a show resolve with blue, and so drawing Merida is not such a crazy thing to happen. Last but not least, we have the Benager package. This is just 3 cards. You're running nearly full sets of all of them: Benager Lynx, the Unicorn Gundam, and the Destroy mode. Uh, Basically, the way this works is that you have the Unicorn mode on the field. You link it with Benager so that you can destroy a shield or just tap something with that attack. You get to draw a card when you perform that link. But then what happens is that you can play the destroy mode by destroying your unicorn mode. It sends Menager to your hand. You do have to trash something, but then you can link the Menager with the destroy mode and go ahead and attack your opponent a second time. It is a nice late game finishing blow. It's blue, which has access to a lot of resources, support, draw power, that type of thing. So it's a pretty strong finishing move that you want to have available to you. It does the combo does depend on Benager and the destroy mode, and the unicorn, of course. You need to have all 3 able to go, but that's not so bad if you get it with some pretty good draw support. This combo is going to pull off and do some big damage. So this has been becoming a bit of a favorite for a lot of people lately. I'm not surprised. It is pretty strong. And so some people are putting it with red or white and things that complement it very well. Well, that's it for the packages, guys. For this video, we are going to do a part 2. If you have suggestions for any packages or archetypes that you want to see, we are looking to do some Xeon Rush packages later. But if there's something you want to see, let me know. If you haven't seen one that you want to see more of, definitely let me know in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe. Peace.